George Sauer. Thanks a lot for joining us. The first day of the baseball season's right around the corner here. We're talking about more snow and ice for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast.
That's right. It's baseball season gets underway Sunday night, actually, up in the Kingdome, but they'll be playing Monday day baseball. And, well, I'll tell you, it's not looking a lot like spring right now, but hopefully we'll try to get things squared around by the time Monday rolls around. But for the rest of us, I'll tell you, it's soggy in the south, it is unsettled in the west, and we got cold air in the northeast, so we've got a whole mess on the weather map here. You can see the cloud mass here from the Atlantic to the Great Lakes, back to the Central Plains, down to the Gulf. There's actually two distinct systems here. One here in the Mid-Atlantic with wet weather, and there's an upper-level low right here, and that's stirring up some showers in Missouri and Arkansas and portions of Kansas and Oklahoma. We do see a few breaks in the action here as you see the clouds lifting on up as we work your way into the south. That is indeed good news because it's been pretty doggone soggy. But as we work to the northeast, you got fair weather and cold air, and the moisture's coming, so you know that spells some trouble indeed. Here's the situation on the current weather map. Got the cold high pressure in the northeast, and here's the low with one batch of moisture moving on in. Upper level low bringing a second batch of moisture. These are going to combine to spill to the east, and that's going to spell some trouble as far as the northeast and the Big Apple is concerned. A little bit later on today and tonight especially. Here's the high pressure, a wedge of cold air right here over the northeast, so you've got one of the elements for potential snow, and the other is the moisture, and that's slowly going to be creeping its way on in. Right now, a little freezing rain around Martinsburg, West Virginia at the present time. Otherwise, we're talking just rain, and plenty of that from just about Cape May, New Jersey, south of the Tidewater, Virginia, across the nation's capital, Richmond, Roanoke, occasionally moderate rain in the Roanoke Valley, and on down into western Virginia. Which quiet weather continues across the northeast, but again, we will see the clouds and the moisture increasing. Now, this is not reaching the ground, this swath right here of moisture, but this is up to around the Pennsylvania border, beginning to creep on into south-central portions of Pennsylvania. Some of the protected valleys could see a little bit of freezing drizzle, and as we mentioned, in West Virginia, there's some reported. Moderate rain showers around Roanoke, extending on over towards Lynchburg, Virginia. A different perspective, once again, shows a swath of moderate rain here back over to Beckley, West Virginia. And as it goes into motion, you can see it's continuing to lift on north, very soggy here. A few breaks around Raleigh right now, but then another batch coming through South Carolina and lifting on to the north. With just some light spits and drizzles towards Atlanta. Things ought to begin to taper off a little bit later on today, so you get a chance to dry out for at least 24 hours. Pretty quiet now in Florida. We had some thunderstorms early this morning moving off the coastline and up around Ponte Vedra Beach, just south of Jacksonville. First round of the Players' Championship taking place today. Got a little rain yesterday and overnight. It'll soften the course up a little bit, but not all that much. However, later on today, we may see some of this moisture begin to creep across, so a typical late March forecast for the gateway to the Sunshine State up around Jacksonville. Here's the warm front lifting north. This batch is going through. We're seeing just some light showers here. Then there's an upper low spinning back here, and that's what's creating this wet weather on into the plain states. And as this trough swings into Florida later today, that could ignite those strong thunderstorms. Now, to show you the upper level low, we get back here towards Oklahoma City, and watch how you see the radar echoes. You see them lifting on to the north-northeast, a few of these rotating around. So again, there's your upper level low, and that's heading off to the east-northeast. That's going to combine with the batch in the Carolinas, and it's going to create some wet weather, to say the least, over the northeast. Now, a little patchy freezing drizzle in spots around Sedalia, Missouri this morning, but again, very light and very isolated. A little trough, a little bit of fog around Rochester, Minnesota, and there's some light snow on into the Dakotas, nothing very heavy. But once again, here we are talking about snow on the 28th of March. That seems a little late, but no, it's not all that unusual. Upsloping snows around Billings and Bozeman, Montana, and to the Bighorn, occasionally heavy to moderate snow. And then as this front dangles through California, we're seeing some wet weather in central California, but it's looking good for the LPGA Tour today in Southern California, Rancho Mirage, but later on that front will sweep through, and we'll see some wet weather sliding on in. And you can see now San Joaquin, Sacramento Valley, some wet weather that marched through San Francisco and continues to rotate inland, heading to the east-southeast. We take a look at the numbers for you. It's 56 San Diego, 54 L.A., 57 in Phoenix. San Francisco is at 54. But single digits in the Northern Plains. International Falls 6, Minot 5, Minneapolis 23, 40 St. Louis, 33 Chicago, 30 in the best location in the nation, Cleveland, Ohio, while Boston checks in with 26. And this is critical. You see the temperatures right at or below freezing. to support the snow. 16 in Albany, so it's going to take a while to warm that up. 26 in Boston, freezing in New York, but above freezing in Philly and D.C. Thus, we're looking at rain in D.C. right now. 43 lighter drizzles around Atlanta, Georgia. 65 in Jacksonville, now 73 in Miami. Chills to 38 in Oklahoma City this morning. We put it all back together, and there's your current weather map. Now, with a look at what's heading your way, Rick checks out our forecast.
Okay, Bruce, thanks a lot. Midday forecast map, again, widespread.
On the Weather Channel.